Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today is very exciting because I have some new stuff to play with. Recently there was an amazing offer from Tarte, which was a 7-piece makeup kit for £50, which is absolutely amazing. So obviously I had to get right on that. So the 7 products were a makeup bag, a foundation, a mascara, an eyeliner, a brush, a lip product, and a blush. And within each of those categories there were various different choices you could make. I went for all products that I've never tried before, so I'm really excited to have them here, and I thought it would be fun to share with you my first impressions. So I wasn't really sure what to call this video. I guess it's kind of a combination between a haul, unboxing, first impressions, review. So without further ado, let's get into the video. So I did say this was going to be an unboxing, so I have to show you the package. So Tarte does this cool like lipstick pattern in their boxes, and this particular one came with this adorable unicorn paper. Loving that. So the first thing I'm going to show you, I've cheated a little bit because I have already taken it out of the box and used it, but it is the makeup bag. So there were 2 choices for this. You could either have a kind of holographic sort of mermaidy unicorn type effect, or this one, which is the plain purple, but it has a jazzy gold inside. So that's the one that I went for. It's kind of Tarte's classic branding. It's a really good size. I can fit a whole lot of stuff in there, so basically I can take my whole makeup kit. Most bags I've had before have been quite small, so you know, bigger things like foundations and stuff have had to go elsewhere, but this is an ideal size, so loving that. And the second thing that I got was, this was a bit of a random choice. I'm not really sure how to use it, so if anyone can give me any tips, just link below, but you can watch me muddle through trying to use this. I went for the double-ended camouflage tool. I think the idea is maybe to blur out your concealer with it. Anyway, so it's this strange 2-headed thing. So on one end is a really nice soft brush, and the other end is kind of like a beauty blender. So I'm not sure if you're maybe meant to wet this. I kind of get the impression that it might be for under the eye. I maybe should have researched this before I went for it, but I think I just got too excited about the deal. And then for foundation, I went for Empowered Hybrid Gel Foundation. And I went for the shade Fair Light Neutral because that's the same one as I use in the Rainforest of the Sea foundation, and I really like that. The shade suits me really well. This is how it comes in the box. This is heavy. So it's in this little glass jar here, and it looks really nice. Like, the packaging is really cool, and like I said, it is very heavy. This is this proper sort of frosted glass. I'll just take the lid off. I don't know if you can see. It's really thick. I've heard that the best way to get this out of the jar is to use a spatula. I don't have one at the moment, so I'm going to be really naughty and use my fingers. But they are clean. I have just washed them. I think Tarte do a sort of spatula brush, kind of like this, but with a spatula at one end, to go with this foundation, so that would probably be a better idea if you can get a hold of that. It has kind of a strange smell. It smells like skincare, if that makes sense. Like, it doesn't smell like most foundations do. It smells like a moisturizer or like some kind of lotion. It's not a bad smell at all, it's just a bit unusual. And I've also heard that less is more with this foundation, so I'm going to start with a small amount and then build it up. And what I'll do is one side of my face with the brush and the other side with the beauty blender. I normally use a damp beauty blender for blending out foundation, so I really want to try it out using this application method because that's what I would normally do. So I'm just going to move this hair out of the way. I'm going to zoom you in a little bit. Okay, so I'm just going to take a small amount and dot it on my face. I'm going to take my brush and start to buff this out. I don't know if I maybe should have done like one side at a time. Okay, so I think this is completely the wrong brush for this. Like, it is way too small. It does feel really soft though. It's a really nice brush. I think for concealer it would probably be better. And I'm going to take my beauty blender to blend out the other side. Okay, so I definitely prefer this side with the beauty blender. I think I actually have fuller coverage on this side, but it's more patchy. So what I'm going to do is blend all of it out with the beauty blender, and then I think I might add a bit more for some extra coverage. You know, and this could just be because I've clearly used the entirely wrong kind of brush. Like I said, Tarte do make a brush specifically for this foundation, and I have heard that that is meant to be pretty good. There we go. So I'm just going to add a little bit more, and I'm just going to blend that out. That's better. So with the Beauty Blender, I think it applies really nicely. It's nice and smooth and even. Now I feel like I've got good coverage, so I wouldn't say it's a full coverage, it's kind of medium, but you can build it up. The finish of it is nice. It's, I'd probably say demi-matte. It's not dewy as such, so it's not as kind of glowy as the Rainforest of the Sea or like your Dior Star or something like that, but it is not completely matte either. It's not got that mask effect. It is quite nice, and it does feel nice on the skin. It does still have a slightly kind of tacky feeling to it. It feels like it's really moisturizing on the skin, so it feels really nice. It's really lightweight. It doesn't feel heavy or sort of thick on the skin, so I'm gonna let this sit for a couple of minutes and then set my face with powder and do my concealer like I would normally do, and I will be right back. Okay, so I am back. I have applied the rest of my makeup, as you can see, and I have to say the other product applied really nicely on top of the foundation. Concealer blended out really well. It took powder absolutely fine. It hasn't gone sort of cakey and weird. I really do like it. So far I think it's really nice, and it still feels really nice on the skin. I think the finish of it is really lovely. So I'm going to move on and show you the rest of the products now that I got. So the next thing I have to show you is the Amazonian Clay 12-Hour Blush. And I got this in the colour Achiote? I'll put it down here if I can get it open. So it looks like this. I have to say, for Tarte, the packaging's a little bit boring, but I guess it's cute. And it has the usual Amazonian Clay kind of engraving, embossing on there. It's this kind of deep blush, I guess you'd call that. I'm not very good with colour tones, so I'll just show you a swatch of this before I put it on my face. That is the colour. Looks nice. And it's definitely a matte blush. There's no kind of shimmer or anything to it. So let's give this a go. Okay, that's really pigmented. Whoops. I'm gonna buff this out a bit. I don't wear blush on like a day-to-day basis, so that's a bit much. That's better. We'll do the other side. Here we go. So I actually like the colour. When you don't put too much on, it's a really nice kind of natural flush. I am just going to add a little bit of highlight on the top because I like to glow. There we are. So this is how it looks with a little bit of highlight on top. And the next thing I had is the eyeliner. So the one I went for was the Lights Camera Lashes Close-Up Eyeliner. So the idea with this is that it goes on your waterline. So Tarte say it is a triple black liner for the delicate lash line and inner rim. 12 hours of intense triple black definition. I'm not sure what triple black is. Very black, I imagine. None more black. Waterproof formula, won't fade, run or budge. And ophthalmologist tested. Well, that's a good thing because I'm going to be putting it on my eyes. So it's got this cool kind of crocodile or snake print effect on the box, and then the same on the little lid here. It's kind of a mechanical pencil type of effect, so that's good that you don't need to sharpen it. So let's give this a go. I don't really tend to put black liner on my lower lash line, so what I'm going to do is just kind of tight line the upper lid. Normally I would wear a black winged liner, but I sometimes find you get kind of gapping, so I'm hoping this will correct this so that you don't get that kind of where you can see pink in your lash line underneath your liner. I can't look at the camera when I do this, so excuse me. I have to get really close to the mirror when I put on liner, so I'm sorry, I'm going to do this off camera. There we go. So what I've done is just tight lined along the inner rim there, and also put it along my lash line and smudged it just a little bit, so it applied really smoothly and evenly. It's nice and creamy, so it doesn't tug at the skin or anything like that. It doesn't feel kind of clingy the way a pencil can sometimes, or scratchy. It's really smooth. It is really a black, so if you want kind of a natural look, a little goes a long way. You don't need to use very much of it at all. I think this will be really nice for when I maybe don't want the kind of harshness of that kind of classic winged liner. Don't want too much of kind of a bare-eyed look. It does just add a little bit of definition into your lashes and makes them look a bit fuller. So I'm excited to see how this wears, because if it's long lasting, I think we're on to a winner. So the next thing to show you is mascara, and the one that I went for is the Lights Camera Lashes 4-in-1 mascara, and again it comes in this kind of reptile print box. It's more of a kind of purpley. I'm not really sure what the 4-in-1 thing is. I'm going to look it up. So it doesn't say on the packaging, but I just looked it up on Tarte's website that the 4-in-1 is for the 4 lash benefits: lengthening, curling, volumizing and conditioning. Sounds good. Let's see if it delivers. So out of the box it looks like this. This is the weirdest packaging for mascara I think I've ever seen. It's kind of like a leather, like this is soft. It's almost like a faux reptile skin bag, but that's the actual tube. It comes out like that. It's kind of a standard mascara wand. It doesn't look too chunky. The bristles are fairly short, so let's give this a go. Okay, so that is one coat, so you can see the difference. So it actually applies really easily. I'm not sure I've got the best length from it. It does seem to curl a bit. It does volumize. Conditioning, I don't know, it's kind of hard to tell. It's certainly not kind of dry or gritty feeling at all. It applies nice and smoothly. It's a really creamy formula. Because the bristles on the brush are not super long, it's actually really nice for getting that kind of lower lash line. So I'm just going to pop it on the other side. So I actually think somehow it looks a bit better on this side. Maybe I just have better lashes on that side, but I don't know. I like it. I don't know if I love it. Normally I use the Benefit They're Real mascara, and I think something about the wand in that really helps separate your lashes, whereas this, it doesn't clump, but they don't look quite as nicely separated as they do with the Benefit one. I mean, they do look nice and fluffy and full. I'm just going to pop on another coat and see how that looks. There we go. So I actually really like it with 2 coats on. Like I said, they don't look as separated as maybe with the Benefit one that I normally like to use. I think if I were going to use this mascara, it'd maybe be more for like a night out, but I would say they do look more curled. They are lengthened and definitely fuller, whether that's the mascara on its own or the combination with the eyeliner, I don't know. But I do like how it looks. I just don't think it's quite enough to topple my favourite, but it is only a first impression, so I'll keep using it and see what I think. And then the last thing I have to show you is the lip product. They had various lipsticks and that sort of thing that you could pick from, so I have gone for the Tartist lip paint. Different people seem to pronounce this different. I've heard it's Tarteist, Tarteist. I'm sure the pun is artist, Tartist, so we're gonna go with Tartist. On this channel, it's Tartist. So this is the quick drying matte liquid lipsticks, and the colour I got was Pillow Talk. So it's this kind of light pinky nude. So I will just swatch it. So that's it there. Just here. It's this kind of light peachy, maybe salmon-y kind of nude. It is actually a little bit lighter than maybe I was expecting. I don't have the fullest of lips, so often light colours can get a little bit lost on me. What I'm going to do is do what I would normally do with a light lipstick and shove on some lip liner. And the liner I'm going to use is my favourite MAC Whirl liner, so let me just pop this on. There we go, so I've lined just around the edges of my lips so they don't get lost. This is how the tube looks. It's quite plain, but it's nice and sleek. I like the matte black on the lid. And it comes with a little slightly kinked doe foot applicator. I guess that's so that it kind of hugs your lip when you're applying it. So let's give this a bash. I'm just going to pat it in. It's really opaque, like you don't need very much of this at all. I'm going to pop on a tiny bit more. I saw Jamie Genevieve doing this, patting liquid lipstick into the liner, and it does just blend the edges really nicely so you don't get a harsh line. So it does dry really, really quickly. You do have to work quite fast. The shape of the little applicator is great for the bottom lip, maybe less so for the top lip, but to be honest, it's not a thick or gloopy formula. It's nice and liquidy, so it goes on really nice and smoothly. I actually really like this colour. I think it goes well with my sort of skin tone, and while being a nude it doesn't kind of white out my lips too much. It feels like it could be quite drying. Obviously I've only had it on my lips for a couple of minutes, so I might have to see how this goes once I've worn it for a while, but so far I really like it, and it's not sort of cracking or filling into fine lines, anything like that. Okay guys, so that is everything that I have to show you. I have it all on now, so I have some stuff to do around the house. I'm going to give it a few hours, see how this all settles and see how it holds up for the rest of the evening. It is about 7 o'clock now, so I will check back in with you later. Hey guys, so it has been a few hours and I have to say I'm pretty impressed with how the foundation's looking. It has held up pretty well. It still feels really nice, it feels really moisturising, it hasn't really broken down or anything, it's got pretty good staying power. The blush has faded a little bit, but I'm not hugely into a really obvious blush, so I actually kind of like that. It's quite subdued. The eyeliner has transferred just a little bit here, but I was chopping onions earlier, so that can be forgiven. The lipstick did come off unfortunately when I was having my dinner, but up until then it held on really nice, looked really good. It was a little bit drying, so I'm not sure I would wear it for all day, but for maybe going out, that sort of thing, I really liked it. So yeah, I'm pretty pleased with all the stuff that I tried today. If you have used any of these products, let me know what you thought. Leave me a comment in the section below to let me know what you thought of this video. Give me a thumbs up if you liked it, and if you are new here, please don't forget to hit the subscribe button, and I will see you next time. Bye!